let people know real quick, just what Alldaz Gear is.
It's an Urban Apparel clothing line that I started in 1998, the summer of 1998. Actually, it's the 20th anniversary. This the hottest thing. I said, well, how y'all know it's hot? He said, she called the guy Izzy down there, and they said that they can't. Everybody's stealing my stuff out the store. Wow. They stealing it. So he said that's how they know it's whistling now. So they had to move it close to the counter. So brand like I see I see another brand, Enemies. They getting their stuff on the right people, and kind of like to spend back on my time, like I was able to get Iverson and LaVar, Arrington, and different dudes. So Mark Barnes had the college crowd, I had the street crowd. I did no radio advertising, I did nothing. It was just word of mouth and flyers. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna get 2,000 or better.
And this is something that I've had many conversations with many people, Matt included, when it comes to really highlighting and bigging up our heroes in the culture and lifestyle of DC. Right. And just that making sure that people acknowledge that influence that y'all had, over the past 20, 30, 40 years. You got to get an intro like that.
Right, yeah, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it, man, definitely, man. I'm still trying to figure out Backpack Matt going to LA, man. That's in the 80s.
Hey, man, just because the simple fact that you said Backpack Matt coming from Curtbone, I appreciate that.
Yeah, I like that name.
Facts.
Backpack Matt.
Word. And I also want to say that I consulted with a number of my friends who are DC natives. There's been a lot of hubbub, I'll say, in the local media with regards to just DC natives and their place in the city. Matt and myself, we're from PG County, and I know I speak for myself. I've been heavily influenced by DC culture, what I mean. But for this interview, I definitely want to make sure I consulted with some friends of mine, some DC natives who are of that era. That you were definitely heavy in, and get their feedback and just make sure I get their questions and concerns out.
Okay, all right, let's go.
So yeah. I'm gonna throw it to Matt though, because I know Matt, he's definitely been wanting to talk to you as well.
Oh man,
Backpack, what's up, Backpack?
First off, how are you feeling?
Oh, I feel great, man. Y'all got me in a nice hotel, man. Feel real special.
Oh, man, it's important for you to be in here, man.
It changes the energy of the show, I feel like.
Yeah. Hell of a setup right here. Hell of a setup.
I prefer you go first because you root stuff like in the person, in the story, and then I'll build off of that.
Okay. Yeah. We just gave y'all our whole game plan.
I mean, y'all listen to 75 episodes. You know the formula at this point.
All right. Okay. So, man, where can we start? All right, so let's start from the top. You are from Northeast DC, correct?
Yeah, Langston Terrace.
Terrace, okay. And for those who don't know, you own just OWN, not OWNED. OWN, Alldaz Gear. So let people know real quick, just what Alldaz Gear is.
It's an Urban Apparel clothing line that I started in 1998, the summer of 1998. Actually, it's the 20th anniversary this year right here.
Nice.
Yes, I was kind of inspired always in Madness Shop. They were around since 1985.
Right.
That was like our uniform.
Absolutely.
For DC. So that always was inspiration in the back of my mind. But later on down the line, when I started throwing parties and moving around, and I was a big guy, so people was liking my little style. So I started Alldaz Clothing.
Okay.
And the name basically came from when I was in the street life. We used to always say we're going to be getting money all days, 24/7, never stop. So I just flipped that and said, well, my clothes can be for all days, every day, all occasions.
Absolutely.
So that's where the concept came from with the Alldaz joint.
And you had the A to Z, right?
Yeah, A to Z started, getting to Z, exactly.
You should sue Amazon because they kind of got a little, they stole that from you a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
They got the smile at the bottom of the logo goes from A to the Z.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. I was beginning all fashions, man.
So DC has birthed a lot of marketing.
Yeah, man, DC,
foundational campaigns. Yeah.
DC is a hidden jewel. It's a hidden jewel, man, and you got people, and I'm not one of the ones that be mad that a dude come in DC and eat or get inspired by something, but it's a lot of cats, man. Puff Daddy probably being the poster child for it. Like, they was able to come here at a time when in the MC stage, when they was in their MC stage trying to go to their next level, and they got a lot of ideas and a lot of things, and they took it to another level. You know what I'm saying? I seen inspiration on him as far as the clothing. And how you hear Biggie Smalls when they mention DC, they say Versace.
Yeah.
So fashion was just really big. He seen that, you know what I'm saying? I read an article with Kanye West even had an uncle somewhere down here. He'd come down here and he got a spot.
Come apart,
his dad.
That's why they got hit the polos and joints.
Yeah. So DC inspired.
I was actually just in New York last weekend for Memorial Day, and I connected with a brother named Dallas Penn, real sneakerhead, and he and I, we just got to talking about just New Balance, because he went to the sneaker store up there, Stadium Goods, and he had a Stadium Goods bag in his hand. So, and I know he's a sneaker guy, so we just started talking. He's like, oh yeah, DMV, DC, all of that, man, and those New Balances. So I told him, as of right now, DC still doesn't have the recognition that it deserves in regards to just how it's influenced shoe culture with regards to New Balance, and how I've even seen and had brief exchanges with people on Twitter who say that DC isn't the sole influencer of New Balance being as popular as it is, and that being our thing here. Right. You know what I mean? And he was like, yeah, man, like, who else? Why would they say that? I mean, I know, and I'm a New York guy. You know what I mean? He was like, there's these other cities, they don't have that, with New Balance. They don't have a Prince and Princess in Georgetown. And I was just like, wow, you know about Prince and Princess? How old are you, man? Yeah. You know what I mean? And again, like, just shout, Prince and Princess is a store in the Georgetown neighborhood in DC. It's been there probably even before I was born. I'm 35, and it's a staple. You can get New Balance as well as other types of shoes there. You can get some. I remember back when they were selling Sergio Tacchini fits, all of that. All the standard hustler gear from back in the day.
You want to go to an 80s party, just go right there and get any outfit, and you can go to an 80s party.
So let's talk about the 80s real quick in DC. We see, especially now on Instagram. I don't follow these pages like I used to, but there's a lot of pages on Instagram, that highlight a lot of street guys from mostly New York City during the 80s and whatnot. And of course, you read the captions and they mention how they came through DC for whatever reason. And so I know, just even still looking at that, as well as knowing people I know who are of that era, whether they were in the streets or not, as well as relatives of these people, that DC was a very, very the way we presented from the 90s on was very different from how we presented in the 80s. Our style was just very slick, very, very, very clean. Still that whole neutral silhouette, but with like real, like, just the flash was in the accents. That's what a lot of people don't know. The flash was in our accents. Go-Go reigned supreme. Big R&B town. Was only a couple rappers that could come through here and really clean up. You know what I mean? So talk a little bit about the 80s.
Oh man, unbelievable times, man. I always say the best era in lifetime. But man, like you say, with New York coming down here and stuff like that, it was DC was, for my friends in New York and the people I deal with in New York, everything south of New York, they just feel like it's country.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
Everything going south is country. So I think a lot back there.
Talk like that.
when they came down here, they didn't realize that we was a world of our own. You know what I'm saying. We never really played by nobody else's rules. We never. Hip hop, we were probably the last city hip hop really touched. You know what I'm saying? That's why Go-Go lasts so long, Urban Apparel lasts so long. You know what I'm saying? So, but like you say, we always had our own little swag. Even when we go to the fights in the 80s, like Ray Lennon and Hagel and Hearns fight, females or different people from other cities would be like, y'all from DC, like how you know? Because like Detroit guys or different guys in the Midwest, they might have like bright gaiters on, bright shirts. Like we was just real subtle, but it was top of the line clothes, like Hugo Ball for solid, but plain, just slick. We was more like not to the big gaudy stuff. You know what I'm saying? So we always just had like a flair with us that I don't really know where to say it spoke from, but I know we danced our own music, man, and I love DC, you know what I'm saying? I mean, as you can tell, you know what I'm saying? And I got friends all over. I got a New York friend, I got a Philly friend, and like I say, I'm not one of them dudes that's going like New York. Like I always say, New York dudes, I respect them because they going to go put their flag, their tent up anywhere they think it's potential to get some money at. You know what I'm saying? So I can't do nothing but respect that. You know what I'm saying? But I think when they was going different places, like I say, they can take their whole package everywhere they was going. No disrespect to North Carolina or Virginia. I know people sensitive about their cities, but when they were able to go in them places, they can take their whole repertoire. Like we can come down and say, boom, I'm Brooklyn. I'm gonna Brooklyn here.
Yeah.
But DC, we was like, you can come here, but you gonna have to come in a gentleman fashion. You can get some money, and we all can get along. And I think that's where the mix-up came with DC New York when they tried to bring their whole repertoire down here.
They was just way more aggressive with it.
It was a lot of more resistance. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's where a lot of bad blood up to now. You know what I'm saying? That still spilled from the 80s.
Yeah.
Because that, you know what I'm saying?
Still to
and
this
then
day.
I be telling the rappers that back 10 or 15 years ago, I said, man, y'all keep taking meetings with New York labels and doing a lot of stuff. I say a lot of them got not really hitting the wrong terminology, but a lot of them had bad blood just about DC people, basically on they cousins, they brothers, they people in jail that ran to DC. So it's gonna be hard, man. You're gonna have to make your own blaze and get your own brand and get out there, then they'll come and get you when you're hot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you know,
I mean, even on the flip side of that, it still doesn't hurt to still use the resources that you can find in a place like New York if you wanted to have a career in the entertainment industry. You know, what I mean?
love New York, man.
And you know, I think because of that bad blood that still exists, which is still unfortunate.
It's crazy though.
It hinders a lot of people, and people say, "Oh, I don't like New York." Well, you ain't never been. How you gonna say?
Right.
Oh, every New Yorker. How many New Yorkers you met? 3. And I'm just like, you don't even know what you're talking about.
Right. Yeah.
Because I mean, I can say that I've met, and this is for me having lived in New York, and I've met way more New Yorkers who show DC a lot of love, have nothing but positive things to say about DC people.
Right, yeah.
And so I'm just like, I don't know where y'all getting this
Oh
from.
yeah, I mess with all my New York friends, especially they come and I say, man, y'all love y'all talk, but when y'all come here, y'all don't go back, y'all stay here. You know what I'm saying? Because the love. You know what I'm saying? So it's you know, I don't got nothing bad to say, but like I say, but it's so much negative history when we was in the streets that it just carried over. And it's just like ancestors, like they pass it down. Then DC do like older cats from DC that's 60 and over. They don't got no understanding that you cool with a New York guy. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, man, y'all cool with them. So it's just passed on generations. So now with the hip hop culture, where everybody interacting, it's kind of calming itself down and people dealing with people based on who they are. You know what I'm saying?
So I know that you said that you were in the streets for a little while. I know that you did some time in prison, and just in the midst of all of that, you know, did you ever have the inkling that, okay, I'm going to do parties, I'm going to start a clothing line? Did you ever have a desire to do any of that, or did you make that decision while you were away?
Right. No. I never had a desire about the clothing line before I left. Even though, like I say, at Madness was out, you know, close the shorts. With the parties, I actually, for real, was a guy from DC. Was throwing parties, you know, God rest his dead, the guy named Squazzy, he had some popular parties. And I was on the tail end of my bit about to come home, and every time I'm calling my female friends or even my guy friend, they be like, you know, we going to the party tonight. I said, who party? They be like, Squazzy party. So I was like, yeah, he throwing parties. I was like, man, he from uptown, nobody don't know him all around the city. How he, you know, so they feel like I always say I can do anything. Like you know, your personal friends, like, man, you think you can do everything, it ain't like you think. So I was just like saying, look, hey, if he can throw parties, I can throw parties. So I came home and I just kind of just use that as, let me try it. You know what I'm saying? Then when I, you know, the first joint we jumped off was crazy. So I just kept pushing them from there.
Okay.
But so inspiration from, you know, Squazzy.
So how much time did you do in prison?
4 years.
4 years. And when did you come home?
Summer of '92.
Okay, so what was DC like at this point? Because I mean, 4 years is even back then when things weren't moving as quickly in DC. It's still a long time and a lot has changed. Right.
Yeah, it was it was kind of different. You know what I'm saying? Because excuse me. A lot of the people when I was out in the 80s, I still always deal with the older folks. You know what I'm saying? And even like the codes of hustling was different. How they interact was different. You know what I'm saying? It's like it was totally different. I feel good that I still feel like it was DC, but I can still see like the rap stuff. I can see where the different other parts of the country started to influence us and started, you know, making, you know, changing their thought process. But it was I guess I've come from a transition to trying to figure out what I'm gonna do. I knew I wasn't gonna cross the line and break the law no more.
Okay.
So you know, so I just, you know, figured out that I was gonna go into the fashion and all that, but it was a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? It was a little bit different getting adjusted and how the new way of how people thinking, because I always came up with the pro DC everything. So it was a little different.
So at that time, when you decided in the early 90s, okay, you're gonna start doing events, you're gonna start doing parties. How prevalent was a person like Mark Barnes in the city at the time? Because I know that he's been in nightlife since the 70s.
Yeah, Mark Barnes, when I first started throwing party, it was like this. Mark Barnes had the college crowd. I had the street crowd. and that's what it was. And you had some guys like some other street promoters, like Positive Black Man,
Positive Black Man Coalition,
right? The Man in the Shop, they was throwing parties too. They was kind of probably getting on the back end what they was doing. But Positive had like a one party they did every year that everybody came to.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I kind of took on the streets. I did no radio advertising. I did nothing. It was just word of mouth and flyers. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna get 2,000 or better,
which was still very effective back then.
Oh man, yeah,
very effective.
Right. Yeah, but Mark, he had to call the stuff. I mean, locked down.
Okay.
Right, locked down.
And what were some of the popular venues at that time, if you remember?
For Mark?
No, just in general in DC.
Well, for the club, I did hotels. I did like J.W. Marriott, all the Marriott, some Sheratons. We did a Ritz-Carlton out Crystal City, Georgetown Conference Center. Mark and them did like downtown located like Quigley's. I don't know if you remember that down on L Street.
I remember hearing about Quigley's. Yes.
They was doing all the whatever, like say what they would be equivalent to the Barcode and all that. They was doing all the popular joints back then. I don't remember all of them because I really wasn't going to the college stuff, but I know Quigley stuck out in my mind. He had a real mean joint outside on 13th and Pennsylvania Avenue. Damn, I can't think of it. That was me, an outdoor joint he did every Friday or Saturday. And all that. Mark was the shit. I mean, they love Mark. You know what I'm saying? They love Mark.
So back to kind of like the partying era, just some parties in general, keeping that thread going. And I've asked people like Eddie Van from Madness this question as well. Describe for me those Friday nights, like when it came to selling like the shirts and all the Alldaz gears. What was that kind of ritual or tradition like? Because were you selling them out the trunk? Was it like people would come through to get a custom fit? Like, you know, before the party, how did they get fresh as it pertained to Alldaz?
Right. I mean, like you say, they're coming there, but a lot of my parties was more casual, but you still had dudes that's getting money. They're gonna go buy the Urban Apparel just so you're in the club. Because my thing was, if you can't undress properly, it's $100. So everybody that can't undress, it was a code to the women that they get money. Gotcha. You know what I'm saying? So they're coming. Them guys are coming there, and you know what's going on, man. You know, give me some t-shirts. Give me some. I said, man, you know what it's gonna be? They're like, yeah, and the bras gonna know what it's gonna be too when they see us. You know what I'm saying? So it was them. But when I threw parties, a lot of people, like you can see like women and dudes that say they'll call me and say, man, you gotta get out Tyson's or you gotta get up Georgetown. They out here, man. You have your ticket. I said they coming. They let them shop. You know what I'm saying? So they was going to the little place. I'm gonna give you a short story. I went to Salviato's one time. This is when Georgetown. They wasn't doing no Urban Apparel. We actually inspired them. You know, the clothing line in DC. So we in there. I'm with a guy. He getting some shoes. Whatever he gets, some slip-on shoes. So the guy seen us. So he was like, yeah, man, y'all coming on in, man. Y'all must be going to the Curtbone party on tomorrow and all that, whatever. So I'm in there. I'm talking to him. So I said, yeah, we going there. What you know about them? You ain't going to support no Curtbone party. He was like, that's my man. He come up here all the time, man. Man, you know, you need to come up here. And I'm talking to him. And I was like, damn. So I didn't even take offense. I didn't take offense to no like you fake it or nothing. I was just like, it was inspiring to me. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, okay,
for him to
I'm doing something right, and you're using me as a promoting too and all that. So I was like, yeah, we on to something with this right here. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But that's how they got inspired though, because people they seeing dudes coming in with Alldaz on, with hobo on, with shooters on, and then they saying they spending $2,500 on outfit.
Right.
So they like shit. We need to get that too, because everything they come in is Urban Apparel, so they smart. It was brilliant.
And
you know
it was definitely during the time when DC could just creators and fashion lines could just rely just on DC
on that beltway.
You know what I mean? And you didn't you didn't have to go outside the beltway for real. And you know, and then a lot of people who would come into town, whether they were celebrities or just people who were hip, they patronized y'all, and then many of these stores had stores in other cities. Right. You know what I mean? From Houston to Denver, Baltimore. I was actually in Philly when Hobo was up there. Okay. You know, so it was just a very different time, and just along the way too. Just when you had made the transition from street life to legitimate business and whatnot. What was those challenges like for you in terms of just like, making that transition and just your inner circle changing, if it changed at all? Right, yeah. I'm not going to make it like it was easy, because we all know nothing easy about business, you know what I'm saying? But I think mine was a little more easier than the average Joe, because like you said, I was only gone 4 years. So my brand as a person was still relevant. So
it was easy for me to throw a party or sell a shirt because they was like, that's Curtbone. This gonna be big. You know what I'm saying? They was giving me a chance. So they was buying shirts that wasn't even quality good. Because I'm figuring the game out, but they believing in me. When another cat they would have probably gated, through the line away. So I didn't have no charge with people believing in the product. And then I didn't have no charge with people position or their thought process of what I'm doing because I always was from a leadership position. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So my peers was, people I consulted with, they was much older, so they wasn't caring. They was like, get some money, you know what I'm saying? So it wasn't a whole lot of big charge, and not to make that sound cocky or easy. I just think it was a blessing that I was able to maintain the popularity, and they still believed in me, and they brought my product, you know what I'm saying?
Got it.
You switched over to selling merchandise, shirts, hats, apparel, right? Yeah. And that's a lot of entrepreneurship involved, right? And it's not just, each industry is different. You got to learn a totally different set of rules, a totally different set of the supply chain process. How did you, connect all the dots? Are you just naturally really big on self-learning? Like, did you just ask a bunch of people? Like, did you go out there to people you didn't even know and approach them like, yo, what do I need to do to get my quality up?
Right. I just basically, as far as my niche, what I did, when I looked at the clothing line, I was trying to see how I'm breaking in. I was always a big dude. Yeah. So when I already know me buying big clothes, already know shit, my underwear be $13. You know what I'm saying? So my marketing scheme was attack the big guys, you know what I'm saying, and make them look fly. And a lot of big guys and females see the thing, they always give me, you fly to be big, you know what I'm saying, which was cool. So I was like, okay, well, how can I get that transition in the next big guy? So I attacked the big guys first, you know what I'm saying. So that was a more smoother market to get in there, you know what I'm saying. So once I did that, and I knew about quality clothes, I just had to get the relationship. Now back then, the clothing lines they wasn't fast on giving out information. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it was trial and error because they feel like, man, everybody competitive standards. We can't do it. So I spent money, man. I went to the Maddie show in Vegas every year, like clockwork. I went 4 years before I really was knowing exactly what I was doing, besides just getting cars and buying stuff off the stand. Off they, taking orders when they stand. I used to go to LA, walk the streets back then, find little different little shops to get something that's unique and different. Because when I got in the game, Madness, they had it in the Stronghold. We Are One had it in the Stronghold. Hobo had it in the Stronghold, and then it was Shooter. That was like your big four. Yeah. When I got in, Shooter got in '97, a year before me. So when I got in, I say, well, my edge is my brand, me. So I use that. I use the big dudes, and I just push. You know what I'm saying? And that's then with my street credibility, it kind of made people feel like, my slogan was all days official dudes and official dolls only. So I promoted that. Like, if you're official, you need to be wearing this. Right. So I put peer pressure on some of the buyers, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I was trying every little trick I can figure out to get in the game, man, and God, did the rest.
I know that, just a little story for me, I went to Flowers from 04 to 08, and you didn't see a lot of All Days, but when you did see it, it was like that meant something.
Right.
I'm not going to throw out other brands that you saw on the regular.
Right.
You saw somebody with an All Days hoodie on or something like that. It was like, oh, this dude paid a lot for that.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
Right, yeah,
dope. It meant something.
I knew you. So you remember the store Up Against the Wall?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I was like, I think I might was the first Urban Apparel clothesline they had it, but might have wasn't. But my point I'm trying to say, I had my stuff in there. So the guy Izzy who owned it, they had a buyer named Ruth, Asian American, and I was like, I hope you're Asian American, Ruth, if you're hearing. But I was, going in. They had a shop. They always in Georgetown and top behind a store upstairs in the store. So when I'm getting my order, she buying it. She liking it. So I was like, how y'all really feeling? Like she's like, yeah. They like it. Is this the hottest thing? I said, well, how y'all know it's hot? He said, and she called the guy Izzy down there, and they said that they can't. Everybody's stealing my stuff out the store. Wow. They stealing it. So he said that's how they know it's whistling now. So they had to move it close to the counter. So so that was touching too, for real though.
That's dope. Dope.
Yeah, and again, for those who don't know, we've had somebody on the show before who was very closely aligned with Up Against the Wall, Doyle's song of Enemies Forever.
Shout out to Doyle.
And I always talk about just how influential Up Against the Wall was to this area. Yeah. In particular, my favorite store was the store on Georgia Avenue down the block from Howard. That was my personal favorite because they sold a lot. They just sold everything. Right. And then second would be the Georgetown store, right around the corner. Go up to Commander Salamander. Right. Get you some punk shit. You know what I mean? But I wanted to ask about it just slipped my mind what I wanted to ask you. Go ahead. Go.
Okay.
It'll come back to me.
All right, cool. So pop-ups. Let's talk about pop-up shops today. Like, what was the climate like? Did it meant something to have like the hobo shop, all these different storefronts, all these locations that G is mentioning? It meant something to have a brick and mortar.
Right.
And obviously, due to the internet and just time, the game has changed to pop-ups. Like, what are your thoughts on that as like a revenue model or a business model?
Oh man, it's brilliant. I mean, no overhead. You know what I'm saying? For when I first started nosing the pop-ups, I just started nosing last year. They probably was doing it way before then, but you know, my daughters and everybody like, you gotta check the pop-ups last year. So I noticed it was seem like it was more. They might give you a little fee to get in or whatever, but now I'm saying they charging the vendors a fee and charging people to come in to the door. So I think it's kind of might be getting a little saturated, taken away from the buyer. You know what I'm saying? But outside of that, I mean that's brilliant. No overhead, no nothing. That's just straight velvet. You know what I'm saying? So I think the pop-up is a huge thing, a big thing.
And then the second part to that is because of the internet and things are a little bit more accessible and information, you start to see a lot more urban apparel brands pop up in a different sense of the game. So today, what do you feel from your experience is what does it take for a brand to really like separate themselves from the rest of the pack?
It's like it's similar thing is getting your items on the right people. You know what I'm saying? Like I kind of see like some of the brand, like I see Eat, I see another brand, Enemies. It's two more brands that they can't think of their name, but they getting their stuff on the right people, and kind of like, you know, to spend back on my time, like I was able to get Iverson and LaVar, Arrington, and different dudes. So that means even if you it could be a clothing line. Like when I first started, and I saying that top four. Let's say the top four I was talking about earlier, Hobo and all them. Hobo and them had a run. They was getting items out there. You know what I'm saying? Right. But I'm getting they on extra large. I'm on small trying to get the medium. But I'm hitting major dudes when you see my stuff. You know what I'm saying? So people was paralleling me with them before I actually got parallel with them.
Brand reach and brand presence.
Brand reach, right? So to put it on the right person. And the right person don't got to be
product placement.
It don't have to be a millionaire. It don't have to be a right person is the person in Flowers High School that's about to make all Met.
Right.
In basketball. You know what I'm saying? He mean a lot to that school. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So just it's who you do.
Just knowing the different levels of influence in your market, in your local market as well as the national market. Right. And that's what I wanted. So I'm glad you mentioned Allen Iverson, LaVar, all these people. So there were many quite a few celebrities that were athletes, entertainers, and whatnot, that wore all days and whatnot, as well as some of the other brands that were popular in the 90s and early 2000s. So with regard to this product placement, or how did those relationships come about? Did they learn about you through just word of mouth, or did you happen to just be in the same place with some of these guys and they were just like, yo, y'all just started a conversation and build a relationship from there? Like, how did that happen?
Right. The ones I just named, it became because, of course, LaVar Arrington became a Redskin. Right. Iverson touched Georgetown. I said one more. I couldn't think who the other one I might have said, but I know Fabulous was wearing some all days at one point too. That was Sophia's hard work right there. She put that together. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out Sophia Nelson, the historian right here. She be holding out, man. Yeah. We just gave you a soca horn, and that's important if you get the soca horn.
That link between urban apparel, especially like from this era in sports, like you mentioned boxing earlier, right?
Paul Williams, right? They wear my stuff,
and then multiple boxers will wear multiple urban wear brands from this area, and like with pride, and like even going back to the basketball sense, it was like even prospects coming up in high school. I heard that some brands would give them free gear just so that they can stay fresh and stay out of trouble. You know what I'm saying?
Right, yeah. Mike Beasley, man, he used to wear my all-day socks with Kansas State in the game. Oh, man. You know, so I said, man, you don't get in trouble.
And Bill Walker, right?
Yeah. You know your sport. Yeah. I was at the Wizard game. He and this New York. No, where he was at for? He in New York, man. Where was that?
Yeah, was he at Miami? No.
It was a West team, I think.
He's Minnesota, right?
Minnesota, right? Yeah. So where I sit, man, my man, we sit right up under the basket. So he's shooting the free throw. He haven't even made eye contact with me yet. And I was like, he said, "That's your man, bro." I said, "Yes, my man." So he looking. He took the first shot. So he looked when the ball, ref getting the ball.
Right.
So I did like this game, like a little was up sign. He talking to me from the free throw line while he dribbling. Man, I gotta get up, man. I need some more all days. So I'm saying to myself, like, because I know Shorty like a wild card, good kid, right? So I'm like, okay, like, you know, like, you don't need this on the media, right? And so one of his dudes that's on his team boxing out for the shooter, he driven. He said, he wants something too. And I looked at he boxing out saying, yeah, I want to get something too. You know what I'm saying? So that would just trick me out. You know what I'm saying? But Mike
NBA
was
stories.
Oh man! But back then it was cool, man. Like Iverson, he wore through the whole championship playoff when they lost to LA and the
4-1 series. We stepped over Ty Lue.
Oh man! Look, I was waiting for after the press conference. They had NBA on the back. He had the logo. I said, when the game gonna be over? You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna tell you what's crazy though. They fell so much in love with it. Like Iverson, one time I went to the playoff game with Milwaukee when they put Sam Cassell and Ray Allen on them on that team right there, Big Dog and all them. So they got a little, and they had this little fan room at, after the game. So I bust up in there, so to holler at Iverson. So they was just like, he was like, what's up? Like, me and my buddy had all this. So the dudes on the team, Larry Hughes, couple dudes was like, man, that's all they do. We been looking for you, man. Get your number, get your number. Man, this man said, man, none of y'all you can keep wearing FUBU, keep wearing his name, all these other names, right? And they'll say to us some shit. Like, I want all these names.
Trying to get all that money.
I had to take the lesson 2 evils. I want to get my national qualification.
So he skunked the play.
Yeah, man. So, yeah.
So speaking of youth and just how, that was like this product placement again, having a high school ball player wear your stuff to keep them out of trouble so they wouldn't have to go out and try to get money in a less than savory way. We look at the city now, even the region, DC, PG, wherever. And nowadays, it's not a lot of ways for young people, especially in high school, to make money. I know myself, being 1 or 2 generations removed from the current, generation under 21 or whatever, and I always had a job. I could always find a way to make some money, what I mean? And I think about a lot of my peers, whether they would get money in the streets or they had a job, there was always something. That's not really the case now, what I mean? Even to the fact that scamming has become so popular, but what do we as adults need to do more of that'll help you stay on or get onto a path to success and sustainability in the way that, we were able to in the early 2000s, the 90s, 80s, things like that?
Right, yeah, I guess like with the evolving of time, man, and like y'all spoke on it earlier with the ability with internet to make sales, sales and stuff like that, and then people, we in the copycat time. You know what I'm saying? Like
absolutely.
Like, and then you can go on, like you say, Instagram and create a whole image, and then so now I call it the microwave era, where those kids to some instant. If it don't happen instant, they think it's a failure. You know what I'm saying? So it's like. That's what I think that's what I think is killing the hustle drive in all the kids today, because
they think it's gonna happen instantly.
Right. Every time they turn the computer and they send somebody like that, he made money, he got 1,000, 1 million followers, or he did that, so it never don't happen. They give up their hustle. So that's the only thing I think that's hurting them. And I don't know how we can be able to change that mindset, because that social media and internet's just such a big platform. And then for real, when I talk to youngers now, I'll be like, and I'm just keeping it real, like youngers know everything. Like you try to get them advice, it's like it's almost insulting them.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Trying to take nothing.
Yeah, they're not trying to tell them. And I'm telling you, look, shorty, I'm just telling you from experience. You know what I'm saying? I had your energy before, so I know when the old dude in the streets come up to you like back in the day, and you get the money in the streets, they be like, younger, you need to do this, do that, watch that. So the average thing, the first thing you think is, he is mad because I got this on lockdown now. You know what I'm saying? But you got to get jewels. You know what I'm saying? And jewels they come from any and everybody. You know what I'm saying? So
the torch is always going to be passed. And you need to make sure that you're able to hold on to that torch for as long as possible without dropping it, without dimming that light.
Right, yeah. I be seeing some of the guys at the clover lines now, and then somebody might, cause I don't know their face, I know their name, so somebody might be like, man, that's such and such, man, telling me who they are. And I heard their name, so I'm like, what's up, man? Because for real, all them guys, they inspire me to get back busy again. You know what I'm saying? Because they really introducing our beltway back to our culture. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Because now it's like, I don't know a dude from Suitland from Tennessee. That's not a negative, but that's just something we hung our head on, being able to be identified.
So look, I went to Howard, and I went to Howard in 2000, and that was still the time where you can go on any HBCU campus and you could tell where everybody was from.
Right.
You go up there now, you can't tell where people are from.
You can't tell. You can't tell.
You barely can tell even when they start talking.
Right.
Because we use a lot of the same slang a lot of time.
Yeah.
But now you just looking. You don't know where anybody's from, but that's something that I love when I was at Howard. I love to be like, oh, okay, this is how they dress in the Bay Area. This is how they dress in Chicago. This is how they dress in New Orleans, St. Louis. You know, that was really dope to me.
Right, and the internet makes the whole country one neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? So now everybody look alike, everybody sound alike, everybody's slang is not attached to nobody. Not saying it's a negative or positive, but I just came in the era where I like the identity. Like I like when I go to New York, I say, man, let's go inside Queens. I want to go in Harlem to the games, you know what I'm saying? I want to see how they talk, shoot dice with them. You know, I actually enjoy seeing their culture, you know what I'm saying? Right. But now, I mean, everybody's just one big language for everybody, one style for everybody, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, just to get back, don't far from your question, I just think right now, this time and generation, everything's so instant success for a lot of young cats that they just, once it don't happen that fast,
they give up.
To the point where they're even skimping out on quality. Quality of the product.
Right. Then you keep hearing, every time I hear somebody speaking, you don't got to finish school. The richest people ain't finished school, so now they use value on school. You know what I'm saying? Did they get?
Which they don't realize that a lot of these people either had crazy networks to build upon already, or their hustle or where they were located in the world, and just luck. All these other things came into play. Just completely disregarding school is, and I didn't finish college, but I'm still not someone who'd be like, oh, fuck college, you know what I mean? But because I understand other things in play that could allow, and especially when they use people like Steve Jobs and Bill Gates, it's like, y'all know who these guys what their networks were.
Yeah, and still those same people like Steve Jobs, he had the network, or you can even go about Puff. You know, he dropped out of Howard, but they put in the legwork. I think going back to your point is like with this instant microwave era, it's like, what is legwork? You know, it's a daily cycle, not it's going to take X amount of years.
Everybody not built for that.
Right.
Everybody not built for that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you got to be built a certain way. You got to be ready to die for what you're dreaming.
Right. You got to be ready for that struggle, all of that.
Yeah, that's a man. I'm pretty sure Puff kissed a lot of ass and slept on a lot of beds. I mean, I ain't saying no gay way. I'm just saying trying to make it paying his dues.
I remember, you know I just saw a video not too long ago, a Kwame video with him as a backup dancer. This is what Puff was doing before he became the Sean Combs that we know today. You know what I mean? How many people are willing to be the backup dancer in a video for a rapper who didn't even become, a super major rapper? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to tie a couple loose ends together. So you're talking a lot about back in days. You mentioned Madness a lot, and many other brands that kind of like the forefathers or predate you. How much does Madness mean to you and some of the founders like Eddie Van and even some still fundamental players today like Rick in the Bag? Like,
man, they everything. And I came from the school that taught that, man, who did it before you, you got to pay your homage to them. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and they legends within themselves, but I'm talking about dudes that's actually now that's addicts and pipeheads that I still pay homage to them just because they cripple at the moment. They open the door.
You can't forget what they did before.
You can't forget what they did before. You can't. They the reason when you go in a FCI jail, that dude that's DC dude, and you ain't did nothing.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Because they already cut out work right there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You speak of college, stuff you did in college, dudes that's coming through now. The door's open because of that. You know what I'm saying? So I always pay homage to that. So Madden, man, they was definitely inspirational to me all the way around, on the streets and in the business world. You know what I'm saying? Because they was gentlemen on both sides of the gate. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And with me, that's my motto. I'm a gentleman first. Anything after that, you made me. You know what I'm saying? So I live by that creed. So it's like I had respect for Ed Ty. Nobody, they don't talk about Larry. They used to call themselves LTE. That was their party name, Larry Ty Ed.
Productions.
LTE So he, he kind of stay on the sports side of it. But all them dudes walking legends. You know what I'm saying? They walking legends.
So speaking of sports, apparel, tying all this together, youth in the streets or wherever the case may be, a lot of y'all with the brands here have had basketball teams that all came through the Goodman League. I don't know if y'all had, if anybody who or if y'all had teams coming up through Watts and whatnot. But just talk a little bit about just the importance of being involved on the community side on that regard.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's that the community side always big. You know what I'm saying? And was you being able to bring a lot of that talent, like say like a lot of the PG guys that we spoke about, like a Ty Lawson that's in the NBA, or even Durant, you know what I'm saying? But you able to get them kids to come and Bury Farms and play, and then them little kids that's out there sitting like they only seen these people on TV. You know what I'm saying? So the inspiration that inspired them is like it's priceless. You know what I'm saying? And then they saying the young All Days, the young Shoes, the young East, the young whoever. Right there networking, they saying the clothes, they saying the whole picture. They can't put it together yet, but they saying the format. You know what I'm saying? So I got dudes that come to me all the time, be like, man, doing parties like, you know, and younger y'all generations or even y'all age, like, man, you inspired me. I remember we seen you with the street team with all your jackets on, with flyers and all that.
Yeah,
and I'm just moving. I'm just moving. I don't know I'm inspired. You know what I'm saying? Sophia put a hell of a squad we had together. We had the multiple stores like from different colleges, internship. So I'll be running to people like I might have ran to them once or twice in the store when they doing photo shoots. Might put me, man, you changed my life, man. You know, I'm working out such and such. If you want to come out of Rockville, we run a little rec out there, man. You can do anything out there. You know, so it's like you never know who watching, but they always watching. People always watching. You know what I'm saying? So that was big with the athletes because you can speak to the athletes. You know what I'm saying? You can speak to in the hood. Drug dealers and athletes, you know what I'm saying? It's just what it is. You know what I'm saying?
They go hand in hand in a lot of ways.
We talked about putting in the legwork, but we don't really often talk about adversity or like the valleys throughout entrepreneurship journey. And you know, you don't have to go into full detail about anything, but how has that kind of shaped how you are today or who you are today? Not just the good things, but also
like I say, being in the streets at such a young age, you know what I'm saying? I was breaking the law at probably about 12 or 13, you know what I'm saying? I actually went to jail at 20, you know what I'm saying? So hustling and adversity and trying to figure out how I'm gonna get a couple of dollars through any adversity, that was already in me. So so actually it's crazy. Today I'm 48, 49. 49. I had more fear now in the last 4 or 5 years than I ever had of fear of success or not. What's the name? Because you get older, it's a failure, right? You know what I'm saying? So like I had that more back then. I was more rebel about everything or whatever. And I don't know, that comes with the kids and comes with being wise and that, but you can't never lose that fear of failure. You know what I'm saying? Because as long as you keep that drive, it's gonna go. So man, back then, man, I just really believe, like I told the people in jail, he throwing a party, I'm gonna throw it bigger. You know what I'm saying? They doing clothes, I'm gonna have the biggest line. I always feel like I can do anything, you know what I'm saying? So so that's some of the adversity. And then with capital, you're not having money to get the quality of people that's out there before. They got better quality stuff, and you don't got the money to get the better quality. You know what I'm saying? Everybody can't go break the law. I stopped breaking law by the time I got home, but again, people believed in me. Like I say, that brand came in. So dudes coming to me like, man, how can I get involved? We know what you're gonna do with it. You know what I'm saying? Well, the average cat might don't got that. You know what I'm saying? So whatever you got, you gotta work what you got, man. Do one item at a time. That's another thing we did. When we opened our business back then, we presented a whole clothing line. Food will start off with a hat. You know what I'm saying? The average clothing line, like we actually was doing it backwards, but we was majority of urban clothing lines back then was dudes that was in the street that said we want to get some money and we was trying to do something legal. You know what I'm saying?
Some t-shirts.
Right. But when I used to go to Magic Show and talk to the bigger lines, they used to say, man, what y'all doing down there, it's incredible, but it's also crazy. He said, because if you look at our line, the bigger line, let's just take Polo for example. If you go into a store and see Polo, you're gonna see.
And you said that you were at the Magic Trade Show.
The Magic Trade Show, Las Vegas. Come twice a year.
Yeah. Just want to let listeners know.
Oh, okay. If you go in the store, you're gonna see they're gonna have 5 or 6 items at the most. You know what I'm saying? Gotcha. Some shirts, everything gonna correlate with each other. If you buy the hat, you go back later on buy a hoodie, it's still gonna match some type of way. Gotcha. You know what I'm saying? We was giving out a whole that every 2 weeks because we competing with each other. I'm getting 4 different sweatsuits, 3 different shirts.
Just collections all the
different 2 weeks later, I'm recreating it for women. That was a lot of work. So it wasn't
even seasonal. Like some
man, we was going crazy. But we had the bigger market. The internet access now, when we was serving the world, 5 different items, you rich. You know what I'm saying? Going all over what's the name. You know what I'm saying? So that's one mistake I tell kids, man, don't be rushed to get no whole line, because just get something and master it. If it's a shirt, a hat, whatever it is, just master that. And then let it grow from that. You know what I'm saying? And this is a lot of things. Like all our clothing line was we was the like, if that era was a movie, we was the star and actors, but it was a lot of stuntmen that nobody never heard about, like that was getting real money more than we was getting. That was just Marco's Sport.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard of Marco.
Another tea company. But they got it. They was dudes that went to college, understood what the fuck they was doing when they got in the game. They created some shirts, went out madness, and was selling all over the country. Nobody knew him in our town. If I come in the room, they come in the room. They don't want to take pictures of me, but he getting way more money than I'm getting in his clothing stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So
absolutely.
it's like it's about 5 or 6 of Moco, the only one sticking out. So I think RP 55 was one.
RP 55. Those some Virginia guys. I actually met one of the founders from RP 55. He's a co-owner of an agency, a creative agency that has a lot of clients through apparel in New York now. It's called Foundation.
Okay.
So I met one of those guys. I actually met the guy who started Moco Sport last year at Howard Homecoming, just randomly. And actually not randomly. I met him through Ryan. I met him through Ryan. Yeah, it's so funny. And like you said, a lot of people don't know that. Something that I want to ask you about, because it's just especially talking about just like where you are now. You know, and just being known now, wanting to be known now as Curtis Chambers more so than Curtbone, because people, you know, they associate Curtbone with old days of parties. You know, this guy from back in the day, but now you want to do other things in business. You know what I mean? Just pivoting to stay relevant. You know what I mean? I know you're doing some things in real estate, things like that.
That's funny you asked that question, but and let me tell you the crazy part. I'm gonna respond to your answer to this. When I told you I had that fear that I can do it all, that was Curtbone. You know what I'm saying? Then when I've been going this transition battle with these two people for the last probably 10 to 12 years, because my whole goal is I was like, I want everybody to know Curtis Chambers. I was in gifted talent in school. I got a lot of great ideas. I can do something, but I found, just me personally, that they don't want to know Curtis Chambers. Like, I made all my money as Curtbone. Yeah. Even the legal side of it, with parties, the clothes, the DVD, I brand that through Curtbone. You know what I'm saying? So now I actually came to conclude that that's who I am. You know what I'm saying? Like that's like my inner like Beyonce, Sasha Fierce, something like that. Yeah. Like that's who I got to deal with, because when I come as Curtis Chambers, it's like I'm questioning who I am and trying to sit a right certain way or say the right thing and all that. And it's just what it is. Don King gonna be Don King till we gone. You know what I'm saying? So like I say, but I wouldn't change nothing I did in life. You know what I'm saying? Everything I did, I wouldn't take nothing back. Only 2 things I tell people I regret. When I was a kid, I never enjoyed being a kid. Like when all my friends was playing football and basketball, I was hustling. Yeah. And only because I was around older dudes ear hustling, but not being able to dissect what I'm hearing. Yeah. So they saying never mess with the police. Whatever you do, never mess with the police, right? So all my friends play for number 9. Police Boys and Girls Club. Yeah. I don't know at the time, it's just a damn name. I'm saying y'all playing with the police. You know what I'm saying?
So you wouldn't even try and deal with that.
I wouldn't even try and deal with that. You know what I'm saying? So I missed kid life. I don't have no good kid memories of the fun stuff, right? Yeah. And then I didn't go to college. You know what I'm saying? Because school, I was kind of decent in school. You know what I'm saying? And I seen.
It's a lot of street guys that were very good at school, but chose gave y'all all to the streets.
Gave y'all all to the streets. You know what I'm saying? And every dude I talked to that got, and I feel good. I would have did good on my own in college. But everybody I've talked to that went to college, that got masters, double masters, they still be like, they speaking to me what I feel without me telling them. You know what I'm saying? So that's one. Those are 2 things I wish I would have went to college, and I wish when I was a kid I would have been a kid. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know if I answer your question, but
nothing beats experience, though, right?
Yeah.
You go to college for 4 years, but you know what have you really gained? So,
I wanted to go for the networking.
That's the real value of it.
That's the real value that I think even a lot of college students don't even take advantage of, which is why so many college students are in the predicament that they're in once they graduate. You know, trying to find work that's relevant and commensurate to their collegiate experience.
Right? Yeah. Because in the streets we consider like if a New York dude see a DC dude or you see a Houston dude, whoever it be. And they both street guys. They all thinking, man, he getting money, fuck them niggas, right? We call networking cutting in. Yeah. So that was like taboo. You don't cut into nobody.
Right. Market share.
Right. So
because everybody was territorial.
Right. But if I would have had the right concept, I should have been saying something to them guys. Because at some point they reach the plateau I did, that was just a phase of life. Right. You know what I'm saying? If you check with a lot of dudes, Frank Produce Chicken and different big companies, the major corporations of 500, their ancestors came from the streets. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So at some point, those relationships could have blossomed. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't understand what networking really was. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I say college. I would have lived. I got my middle daughter. She went to the University of Ohio. She graduated. Nice. My oldest went to Virginia State. And I used to be telling them like, "Dog, y'all in there, get these clothes out there. Like, get them out there." You know what I'm saying? But again, you can't tell them kids nothing right now. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't bringing a bag of money and saying, "This how I did," they go, "What I need to do?" You know what I'm saying? So
it's a certain thing we just gotta learn on our own.
You gotta learn on your own. You know what I'm saying?
How many times people try to tell us
it's trying to say, but yeah, man, but I'm Curtbone, man. I mean that's my legal name, Curtbone. But
I'm still Curtbone.
Yeah. I hope that don't sound crazy.
No, you're good.
Yeah.
Well, we just got a few minutes left, so I really want you to just really go into just what you're working on now and what's next for Curtbone, Curtis Chambers, whatever, however you want to be addressed. Like I said, I know you got your hands in some real estate and things like that. What's next?
Right. Yeah. Well, right now I'm trying to start a transportation company. I just got a 3 vans. Okay. So I'm trying to do that with mentally challenged stuff like that.
Word.
So that's my number one thing I'm doing. Mm-hmm. I just got sprung back into some more mentoring because with the DC just push this button in the last 30 days that they trying to relive the 80s or something, or the movies, the murder capital.
No, it is.
You know what I'm saying?
It's rough, and some just started.
Right, exactly. So that pushed me back. Now I'm getting with the DRS and some different liaison companies, government agencies, and I'm about to get back into the mentoring more hard. Actually get some kids assigned to me that they are deeming as some of the aggressive kids in the city. So I just left that before I came up here.
Nice.
So that's going to slow down my but it's a call. You got to address that. You know what I'm saying? So with the mentorship and the transportation, that's my immediate things. You know what I'm saying? Also the all days we it's never died, but we just trying to repump it back up. You know what I'm saying? A little bit, get the new generation of kids that's now 14 to 21 to see what we was about. You know what I'm saying? In Minnesota Field, we just got a small board. We trying to bring everything together. You know what I'm saying? Eventually we want to try to do some documentary. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully God willing, something turns to a feature. But at the same token, I just want to take my story, put it in a bottle, put a label on it, and sell it. You know what I'm saying? And it don't have to be. You don't have to literally get money for it. You know what I'm saying? Just if you drink it, you're gonna learn something. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm trying to do before I leave, man. Right now, it's flattering for young guys to know you for what I did, but I want to really get that Curtis Chambers, you said too. I wanted to meet him too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's okay to
duality.
That duality. It's okay to switch it up. Change clothes. It's just Jay-Z now who likes to go by Sean Carter. So I'm talking about going from street names.
We're talking about Puffy. Come on now.
Right.
Sean Combs and going from all his different names to Sean Combs. Wanting to be addressed, being referred to as that. So it's okay to
So maybe I say I'm Curtis Chambers, but I'm driving with my ego, Curtbone.
Nah, you gotta keep that. You gotta keep that. You know what I mean? Well, Kurt, I appreciate you. I know this is this is just a little bit of your story, as you said. Y'all are working on something to get your story out there. So we just got a little bit, but it's still a wealth of information, wealth of knowledge. And you are appreciated. I speak on behalf of all the people in DC who know you, who I've known speak highly of you. You know what I mean? I've never heard anybody say anything bad. And I know a lot of people. You know what I mean? So I appreciate you. All that you've done, everything that you've added. I've definitely bought a couple tickets from you before for some parties.
Right. Yeah. I just want to tell the whole DC area, DMV, man, just thank you, man, because I never really was a dude that had no job. I lived off the land. You know what I'm saying? And they supported me. Whatever I did, they supported me. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, man, that's why I say, you heard me say earlier that I love DC. It ain't just like no ego of my city, but I love because they really, I got 3 kids from the college. I got another one on the way. That's because I lived off the land. They supported me and I was able to do that. You know what I'm saying? Everything I did came from the streets. The products of, man, I love DC. They know that, man. DC is life, man. DC is life.
Let's tell people where they can find you if you want to be found.
All Days Gear on Instagram. All Days, and also All Days Gear is my website, also the same name, but my Instagram thing, All Days Gear, man. Get with me on that. I'm trying to get that up so I can start branding my clothes through that right there. I only get on my Facebook and it can't take no more on that. So I'm just All Days Gear at Instagram. All Days Gear, man. Thank y'all for having me, man.
Absolutely, man.
Absolutely.
It's
Beautiful,
sure.
man.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening to this program on Full Service Radio, broadcasting and recording from the Line Hotel in Adams Morgan, Washington, D.C. Full Service Radio programming can be accessed live and archived on fullserviceradio.org. Our talk programming is available on most podcast apps like iTunes and Stitcher, and our DJ sets are available on mixcloud.com/fullserviceradio. Full Service Radio features over 30 weekly shows and over 50 local hosts covering every topic imaginable. If you want to be a guest or get involved, email us at info@fullserviceradio.org. Follow us on Twitter at FullServiceRDO, on Instagram and Facebook at Full Service Radio. Thanks for listening.